What's happening? What is happening? Still a nation, still a family. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hoping you guys are good. I see Kenyon is talking about that HOTD. For those of you that know, you know. If you know, you know. What an excellent season. But that's HOTD. But what's happening, still a family, man? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Still Basement, aka the virtual shore, as you see behind me. What's happening? What's happening? I'm gonna get right into my action. I don't want to be before you guys, too long as far as me talking. I want to save and reserve a chunk of time for the caller. So I'm gonna try to speed up my process. Let's hit that timer. Boom. Let's get into it, man. So let's say hello to some of the early commenters. I think I saw Debbie already. And if I did, I believe I did. Yes. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Lanisha. Let me see. Any of the other ladies jump out? Not yet. But hello, Debbie. Hello, Miss Lanisha. Hello, lovely ladies. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And fellas, make sure y'all say hello to the lovely ladies. Take care of our ladies in the chat. Joshua Shields, 412 born and raised. Okay, I love that. I love that. You are from the 412. I always give a special shout out to you guys and gals who live in or around the Pittsburgh area. That's dope. Vista Light, Rajon 39, Jack Bauer, James Tresvant. Who else we got up in here? Dr. Trey 88, Tyrone Johnson, Jim Emmon, Mark Malone is in here. What is he saying? Let me read his comment. I always get a a good giggle out of some of Mark's comments, man. What's up, Mark? He says, we just gotta hope Rooney decides enough is enough, fires Tomlin in Canada, brings back Todd Haley, or some other competent coach and offensive coordinator. Wow. Use the word competent in the same breath as Todd Haley. Again, that's not a shot at Todd Haley, but it's funny when Todd Haley was getting all of the vitriol that he was getting as a head coach and coordinator. It's ironic. People said he was not competent. So I just find that comment rather ironic. Let's go to the next one. Who else we got up in here? Ron Simpson Gaming. What's going on, buddy? Jordan Mid, Knight Rider 16, Cutboy 412, my man Y Diggy, my man C Antoine Hill. What's going on, fellas? All right, man. Let's get right to it. I always say I'm gonna start fast, and let's do it. Cause Kenya, man, sometimes you just gotta find humor in some of these comments, man. But like I said, it's all opinions, I'm never going to debate them. I could give my thought on an opinion, but I'm never going to debate anybody's opinion. But let's move swiftly. First thing we're going to talk about, man, is, again, we always start Tuesday with some of the things that I may have gathered or what I, pointed out from Tomlin's presser. I didn't really get a whole lot from Tomlin's conference today. I really didn't. Nothing real, real concrete, no real news bites to address. I'll address a couple things. He talked about the injuries. He says Levi Wallace has a shoulder injury that he basically says you can probably pretty much categorize him as having his availability affected. So it almost sounds like maybe he's not going to be available come Sunday. So it says, it's in question. Also, Josh Jackson. He says he's not sure whether or not Josh Jackson, his availability will be affected. Of course, the week will lend to that starting tomorrow, so we'll have to see there. Other than that, he said we came out of the game pretty clean in terms of the overall injury list, pretty clean. He did briefly talk about Watt and Austin. He basically just said unlikely that they will be participating this week, which pretty much puts a fork in any idea of you thinking that those guys would play in Sunday's game against the Eagles. So, at this point, you might as well just say if you're going to see T.J. Watt back, if you're going to see Calvin Austin get his chance in the game, it's going to be after the bye. And Tomlin also mentioned, I thought this was fair and honest. When talking about Austin, he said, hey, the guy has not been in the NFL stadium, not in preseason, not in the regular season. So if you read between the lines, he's kind of saying, even when he's healthy, don't expect to see him out there a ton. What's the phrase that he always uses? And, just a common phrase that people use, the moving train that he would have to get on. So, honestly, man, if we see him in spurts, that'd be cool just to see what he can give us. An extra dimension, an added dimension or whatever to the offense. But honestly, man, at this point, it's pretty much going to be 8 games that he's not a part of. I'm not anticipating seeing Calvin Austin much this year. I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, he took an injury that has taken him off the books for this amount of time. And that probably is what it is, So, we'll see. We'll see. He talked a little bit about the turnovers being a big reason for the loss. That's obvious, right? I mean, you can say that in any game of the NFL. You lose the turnover margin, it's very likely that you don't win that game. There have been games, of course, that people have lost the turnover battle and still won the game. Steelers have done it as well, but it's just not likely. It's not likely when you have 4, and you could probably say 5, opportunities to turn the ball over and you don't, and then you turn it over 3 times, 2 of which in critical situations. That usually means you're not going to win the game. So there you have it. He also acknowledged that it took the defense a moment to adjust. And you know what? I wanted to talk about that because I'm going to talk a little bit about that here tonight as I'm going through the All 22. Again, a lot of times since I don't get it on Tuesday and I'm still someone who works a normal job during the day, didn't have a real opportunity to watch it in full. I watched about a quarter and a half. That seems to always be the trend when I come to you guys on Tuesday. And I was able to at least see a couple things that we started to adjust after those first initial 1 to 3 drives by the Dolphins. One play I will outline and talk about here. But I will say that it's good, number one, to hear. I like to just hear, I don't even want to say honesty, right? I want to say transparency. Because I understand when you are a coach at any level, whether it's NFL, college, NBA, hockey, whatever the sport, a head coach, a coordinator is not going to tell you but so much. A player is not going to tell you but so much as far as what goes on in the locker room. So I always appreciate when they give you a little peek behind the curtain, a little bit of transparency. And, I just appreciate Tomlin in this case being the one to do that, to say, yeah, man, it took us a moment to adjust. And I honestly think that all of us can agree on that. I think it's clear that they have made some adjustments and the defense played better later on in the game. And honestly, maybe we're not giving enough credit to, let's just give it to Terrell Austin. All right? Even though I know they say Tomlin has a hand in the defense, let's just, give the credit to the coordinator. I don't think enough people talked about that in that game, that we kept the lid on it. They didn't score any points in the second half. There were adjustments made. I could see adjustments made watching the TV tape, but I'm really going to be able to see it watching the All 22 because, again, the play I'm going to talk about here in a moment, I couldn't clearly see this on the TV film, but seeing it in the All 22, there was a huge adjustment that I thought that was very unique. So, I know there's times, guys, that you hear me get on the defense, and there's still something I'm going to talk about even tonight about the defense that I just don't like, just my personal preference. But you got to give them credit when they do actually make adjustments, and it's evident. I think it was evident in that game because if you're like me, those first 2 drives or so, I thought we were almost getting ourselves ready to see a blowout. And we didn't. So, we got to give credit to Terrell Austin in that regard and the defense stepping up, even though there were still plays that I just didn't like. And I'll get into it. But, yeah, man, it was cool to hear Tomlin acknowledge that. He briefly talked about Kenny not locking in on one target. Guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, too, a little bit later in the show. We're going to have to be patient with Kenny. And this is kind of, it's going to go kind of in, to what I was saying in the post game, and also, the theme of the show tonight when I said my title says how the Steelers fans should approach the rest of the season. I'm going to get into that, but yes, we're seeing the rookie quarterback be a rookie in our very eyes, right before our very eyes, and we're going to have to watch his maturation. I think Kenny Pickett, I'm going to just say it again. I said it Sunday, I'm going to say it again. I think so far from what I've seen, even though His touchdown to interception ratio doesn't help the cause. Right now, I see enough to say, I think this guy's going to be good. That's what I'm seeing right now. Ask me in 4 more games. My opinion might change again. Ask me at the end of the season. My opinion could change again. But as of today, I think Kenny Pickett can be a good quarterback. And I think he actually will be. We'll get to it. I like the fact that Mike Tomlin got on one of the reporters trying to attack George Pickens' character. I really like that. Listen, the media kills me sometimes. And again, I'm not going to, shake the fist at the reporter because I don't know his intent. I'm kind of was reading the body language of Tomlin and how Tomlin said, I kind of resent that. But it does kill me, though, when media sometimes, they always want to try to poke holes in somebody. Like, okay, George Pickens, if you think he had character issues in college, he hasn't had any issues with the Steelers so far. We didn't hear anything negative about him in the summer. We haven't heard anything negative about him so far this season. And every time he does an interview, some of y'all may agree, may not. Every time he does an interview, this dude is professional. Professional. He seems like the ultimate teammate. I know he knows his ability out there, but he never seems to put himself first. He always answers the question the right way, even when they try to bait him. So it's like, what's the point of you bringing up all of that stuff about, and it was widely said that he had character. He hasn't had any problems. And again, I'm also still the same person that I don't try to speak on things that I have to speculate on. It was only pure speculation that the intent from the reporter was negative. I don't know that. So I'm not beating up the reporter in theory. I'm just applauding and appreciating Tomlin addressing that and saying how much he resents it. And I'm speaking from the general standpoint. The general standpoint that media does that too much. What if he did have character issues? What difference does it make today, on October 25th, 2022, as he is a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers? What difference does it make when he hasn't shown us anything that we would pull from that since he's been a professional? That kind of stuff just kills me, man. That stuff it just kills me. I hate that. I really hate that. And I take that stuff personal, man. I just hate that. All right, let me get back to what I was talking about. Y'all can probably see my passion. I hate that. That's honestly, guys, Steelers fans, that's one reason why I root for Lamar Jackson when he's not playing the Steelers. I've said this plenty of times before, but I couldn't stand how they just tried to make him a receiver. They dismissed his ability to be effective as a quarterback. Now, however you feel about him as a quarterback is up to you. But just how they just dismissed it, like he wouldn't be effective at all. Maybe he isn't the best pocket passing quarterback. Maybe he doesn't have the best accuracy, but let me tell you something. That dude is somebody that you panicking if you're the defense every time you face him because of his ability. Because of his ability, and plug that in as a QB. I just hate when they predetermine what a player is or what they are and what their personality is just off of, whatever they seem to be observing. I hate that. And I'm just going to be open and honest about that. And some of y'all probably know where I'm coming from. I hate when they do that. I hate that, man. So, yeah. Get off George Pickens. I'm not tolerating that. Let me talk about a couple things, man, and then we'll get into the phone calls. I don't know how we're going to fix this. Our linebackers, man, and sorry, guys, if y'all don't understand why I keep doing this. The chat is over here, so you're going to see me do this from time to time. Our LBs just bite so hard on any type of play action or RPO. I don't know how we fix it, man. I don't know. I don't know how we fix it. And yeah, I just don't know how we fix it. These guys, I don't know. I don't know if that's the mentality of the defense itself in terms of, are we telling them to play that aggressively against the run? Or, I mean, I get it. Play action is supposed to do that. But we are, I mean, it seemed like, and again, maybe that's just me with my Steelers eyes on. I don't know. But it seemed like our guys bite so bad on play action. And a couple of those RPOs, man, that Tua was putting out there early in the game, I mean, it's dudes is wide open because we attacked the line of scrimmage just off of this. You know, it ain't even the most beautiful ball fake you ever seen. It's the most standard, and they biting that joint like it's crazy. So that's an area of concern, man. And I know that you know I talked about the middle of the field. You know, in all of these games where we're giving up, that's where it's happening a lot of times. It's happening off of play action or RPO action, but it also is, I think it comes down to how our guys are playing the zone. Again, I talked about Ryan Shazier in a previous show. Ryan Shazier was phenomenal at times in coverage. You know, he could cover a lot of ground. Yeah, he had the speed, but also he had this. Ryan Shazier was a very cerebral player. You know, I don't know if everybody realized that. You know, and even if you didn't know that yourself, you know, you heard plenty of times when they talked about him being a film junkie and all of that. And because of that, you know, again, I've played football, guys. I played in the secondary, right? You know, at strong safety. I played linebacker, played strong safety. It's zone coverage is about two things. The main thing that they teach is you read the quarterback's eyes, right? You get your depth, you read the quarterback's eyes. The second thing that you generally are taught is you have to feel where your threats are. Some people can just know they can feel it. Some people have to peek really quick. You know, they're in their back pedal, they're looking at the quarterback, but they're doing this, head on the swivel. But then you have those people who can recognize route combinations in a split second. And then they get their depth or whatever based off of that. And to me, I just think we haven't found the guy that can really play real good middle of the field zone coverage as a linebacker where they can read it all like that. You maybe don't find those guys often, right? But I think that's really what the issue is, because our guys just don't, you know, you put them in the right position, sometimes they make a play, but it's so many times as I watch the film, man, that these dudes are just, they looking at the quarterback. Again, I showed you guys who saw my all-22 breakdown against Tampa. Remember the play I showed you, the one to Mike Evans where, I mean, I think it was Spillane. Spillane ain't paying him no mind. He's right there, wide open, but he's just locked in on Tom. And that's why we're giving up so much in the middle of the field, in that intermediate area. You know, behind that linebackers, in front of the safeties. It's just, I just don't think we have the LBs right now that play significantly well zone coverage when you're just asking them to spot drop. They just don't play it that well, you know? So that is what it is. Let me get it. What else I got? Hold on. What are my other notes? Talk about, yes. This is something that bothers me about our defense. Talked to Kenyon and Tony about it today. And I want everybody to understand that it's not a simple answer when it comes to defense, right? You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. You can't run zone every single play and think it's going to work every single play. You cannot run man every single play and think it's going to work every single play. I think sometimes it's a mentality. You have teams that have a certain mentality, right? You have teams that just say, this is how we're going to play it. We're going to be in your face. Boom, boom, boom. You have others that like to play soft coverage, you know, with the soft shell or what have you. It's a mentality. You have some teams that they just going to run man. They don't care what you're doing. You know, you think back to the Legion of Boom where they would run cover 3 in Seattle, but regardless of what the coverage was, Richard Sherman was in man. They felt that confident about it. He's up on you, even if it was zone. He was matching everything. And it's just different philosophies. So I say that to say this. This is the one thing that bothers me about our defense and how we do it. And it's honestly, guys, if it was like this even in the Dick LeBeau days, and when it worked, it was disguised maybe, but it's been a glaring issue to me for our Steelers defense for the last several years. I do not like the amount of cushion that we give off the line. Sometimes we have it to where there's one corner, and I know there's a philosophy to it because, like I said, even when Dick LeBeau was there was times we'd have one corner tight, one playing off. There's a rhyme and reason behind that, I'm sure, right? But sometimes, again, just to bring you up to speed, we'll do it like that. One guy's playing tight, one guy's giving off the ball, giving up 8 to 9 yards. Sometimes we have both of them doing that. There's times when we come out and they both giving up 8 to 9 yards from the line of scrimmage. And then there's times that we will get up in their face. Matter of fact, that play, and I have it notated here, the play where Minkah Fitzpatrick broke up the pass in the end zone on Mostert, we was playing tight man. Again, you can't do it all the time. Again, your opponent dictates that. You know, you playing against 2 thoroughbred horses over there that can run in a waddle in a hill. You can't always just get up and press because all it takes is one and he's gone. But my issue is, why do we give up so much cushion? I feel like, can we just play it a little tighter? Instead of being 9 yards off the ball, can we be 6? Because, guys, if you watch the film, again, defense did a phenomenal job overall in this game. That second half. But I'm just thinking about even the games where we didn't do so well. The Buffaloes, we give up inside routes so easily. I mean, it's pathetic. The way we defend slants and skinny posts, it's just not even, it's like taking candy from a baby. Again, I don't know everything, guys. I'm not saying I do. Even what I say to do might not work either. I'm just saying I would prefer to see us just shorten that distance a little bit or just develop an identity and say, look, y'all just going to beat us. And I love teams that got that mentality. Miami did it to us quite often in that game with backups. Quite often they just got right in our face. I just wish we would adopt that mentality a little more. I don't know. And maybe we don't got the dogs to do it, but like I said, you see other teams just have that personality. Miami was ran crazy on us, and they did audible. They did switch up and start running some zone in the third and fourth quarter. And again, like I said, I'm not asking them to run man all the time. You're supposed to mix and match like Miami did. And we mix and match from time to time, but it's too often where it's almost like you know what route is coming against the defense that we're in, looking at how they're lined up. And I'm just tired of seeing us off the ball so much. Again, just reduce it a little bit. You ain't got to be impressed. But take it from 9 to like 6 or 5, where, you know, it's an intermediate where you're close enough to them where you can still backpedal, turn, and run, or you're close enough to tackle the catch if it's a quick slant. So, just my thoughts, man. Round of applause to my man, Luis D, for the donation. That's an interesting observation, Luis. Luis says, the way that Pierre played against Tampa, I would have thought that he might have stayed as the starter and opposite of Sutton. Sutton on the inside. Yeah. And again, you know, we're stuck in that rotation thing where we're rotating Marlette and Sutton. We haven't really seen Sutton much inside, since Akello's not out there. But yeah, you're right. And Pierre did play. Pierre actually started the game. If you guys noticed that, he started. He was the starter on the outside even when we were in base. And I can't remember if he continued the rotation that way. I'll have to keep looking at the all-22, but he definitely started on the outside, first play of the game. But yeah, man, I just would like to see us change our approach a little bit and let these guys play, man. Sometimes line up mano y mano right in front of a guy, and if you get beat, you get beat. I get it. And, and Kenya made a good point when we talked today. He was like, you just can't, you're giving up the speed, against Miami specifically. You're giving up speed if you're going to get in their face like that. All it takes is one little wiggle. And I'm like, you're right. But I'm here to tell you, every game this year they've done it. regardless of who's on the other side. And it's like, that's just, y'all got to do better than that, man. It's just my opinion. I could be dead wrong. I'm just saying. Maybe some of y'all agree with me, maybe you don't. Okay, let me get a little faster here, guys, so we don't take too much time up. I said Kenny. Yeah. I got to talk about Kenny. Kenny Pickett, folks. First of all, before I do that, let's talk about Canada. Then I'll come back to Kenny, because Kenny is going to put a bow on my overarching point. Matt Canada. This is how I feel about Matt Canada. Oh, wait. Almost went too far. I forgot a point about Austin. I told y'all I was going to talk about a specific play. And almost forgot. Let me talk about that. Then Canada, then Kenny. Remember the play when Derek Bush got the PBU? Devin Bush, excuse me. When Devin Bush got the PBU in the middle of the field. I want to say it was the second quarter. You know what they did? They played zone outside. We dropped into a cover 2. It looked like probably a Tampa 2. But what we did is we put Bush in man on the inside receiver. Beautiful adjustment. So we run the zone, but because Miami was killing us in the middle, what they did is Devin Bush turned immediately. He goes to the inside receiver, turns, get on his inside hip, runs with him, turns, knocks it down. Beautiful. Great adjustment by Terrell Austin and let's just say Mike Tomlin. Because again, people always say that he has his hands in the defense. He's a defensive guy. And all right, so we're going to give them both credit. Beautiful adjustment. It's just a small wrinkle. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think enough has been talked about since Sunday, the job that the defensive side of the ball did in that second half, man. And really after the first maybe 2 to 3 drives, they did a phenomenal job overall. And we made adjustments. This was a game that I could literally say, whoa, we made an adjustment defensively. We did. We started taking the middle of that field away. And I'm excited to see as I watch the rest of the All-22, as I get into the rest of the second quarter and the second half, if we continue to do that. But that was a beautiful adjustment. And I'm like, thank you. And again, we saw it in real time, but I didn't know that Bush was in man, right? So it might have been Tampa 2 where he drops deep. Usually the middle linebacker is going to drop. But I think that what they did was called that play was like, nah, man him. If you see him come towards you, just run with him. And it was perfect. And again, it's not going to work all the time. I just want to see us make adjustments. So I had to give a shout out to Terrell Austin and company for that one. Matt Canada. I'm going to be brief with Matt Canada. Y'all know how I feel about him overall. My feelings have not changed, but I will say this about him. What I said about him Sunday and maybe the week before that is how I still feel. It's his consistency. He's not consistent. Matt Canada seems to take too long to adjust, or he doesn't stick with the things that are working. It's weird. It is very weird. On that drive that we had where we were stopped and we got a field goal, excellent play calls. Some of y'all might not believe that, but if you watch the film, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a screenshot that I'm going to show you guys when I talk about Kenny. Route combinations was on point. Kenny checked it down to Najee. I'm going to show y'all a screenshot of that. I saw route combinations. I saw a mix-up. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about, Canada. This was the second quarter. But then he falls back to sleep. Situationally, he falls to sleep. I don't understand it. And that's my beef with him. It's not that I haven't seen him call good games or make good calls. We've seen him do it at spurts. That's my issue. Spurts. We can't have you doing it in spurts. And again, I'm not expecting every offensive possession to be a score. No, that's not realistic. But what we've seen week after week is he falls back in love with the normal script. And he'll stay in there for about a quarter and a half. Then he'll switch up. Then he will try to counter what the defense is doing. I mean, at one point of that game, Miami stayed in pretty much the same defense. Because they knew what we were going to do. And it's like, that's my issue with him, man. It's like, he's too complacent at times. And there's other times where I'm like, okay, that was a good series. Even if the play didn't work. See, I'm not one of those people that just say it was a good play call when it works. I even say the play was a good call when it don't work, because I look at the design of the play. And Matt Canada just has a problem with staying consistent. That's my issue with him. So I'm not going to go as far as to say, oh, he can't call nothing. No, sometimes he does. Sometimes he has a good series or two. This season, we've seen it. But then there's other times when he just falls asleep at the wheel. I don't get it. Now let's talk about Kenny really quick, man. Then I'm going to get to the phone calls. Steelers fans, this is how you should look at the rest of this season. Let this kid develop. It's crazy to me how... No, it's not crazy to me at all. That's how some fans do. That y'all ready to throw him in the trash already after these games he's played. Fine. I'm not going to tell you to change your mind. I'm just going to tell you how you should view this season. This is Kenny Pickett's grow up in front of your eyes moment. I'm just saying. We knew this was coming. I think Tomlin even knows as much. As he has said publicly, we're not going to be an offense that's going to produce that. They know. I think they know. So as much as some of us are feeling like, oh man, this is going to be the first losing season, I think the organization, not saying they're quitting, but I think they kind of know this could be a rough one. I think they know. Because again, everybody doesn't strike lightning in a bottle. It doesn't always happen. Kenny's going to have to grow up, and there's stuff that I'm seeing from him in these few games. I'm like, yeah, he got to fix that. He got to fix that. But just let it be. So this is the challenge that I have for Steeler Nation. If you're somebody who did not like Kenny Pickett as the pick, all right, well, watch and see if the rest of the season validates how you felt. If you're someone who liked Kenny Pickett and you were happy that we drafted him, let it play out. Let him learn. It's going to happen. He's a rookie. Remember that bad interception that Big Ben threw against New England in his rookie year to end the playoff drive? It happens. Now, the numbers are crazy. Well, he's 2 for 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but you got to let it happen, man. You got to let it happen. Enjoy watching this kid either rise to the occasion or don't. But I can tell y'all this as well. Y'all got at least 2 years of Kenny. Probably 3. Organization is not going away from him next season, even if his season is a little rocky, because they're going to look at the areas that they can improve. So at the very best, for you guys that don't like him, the very best you could hope for is 2024. You'll have a new QB. I'm just giving you some educated speculation there. I don't know for a fact. I'm just saying. I see myself things that are encouraging about Kenny Pickett. And I think the Steelers organization sees it as well. But that's what I would encourage you guys to do. Round of applause to Sport 8. Appreciate the donations. Oh, that's what's up. Happy belated birthday. Or maybe the birthday is coming up. Either way, happy birthday to you. He says, my birthday gift was tickets to the Steelers-Eagles game. Should I wear that brown bag on my head or be optimistic or tell my wife I'm feeling sick? Man, you better go to that game and you better represent the Steelers the way you would as if the Steelers were 7-0. Sometimes it just is what it is. You got to still love the team. Again, when is the last time that we felt like that? That's a blessing in itself. When is the last time we've seen this situation where a team is we 2-5? Like, it's a blessing to not have seen that. But it's the time has come. And I don't know how the rest of the season is going to turn out, but I'm not going to be surprised if, let me throw out a number. Is it going to surprise me if the Steelers only win 4 more games this year? No. It just is what it is. It's our time. It's our time to go through that ugly rebuild. It is what it is. And at this point, it's going to hurt as a fan. I'm going to come on here every week and report on the game. But if we were in the top 10 draft picks, I'm cool. Because then, that's how some of these other teams who are good now, that's how they got there. So, just think about all of the best teams right now. A lot of them teams were bad for a minute. It was a time, even when the Chiefs was middle of the road. Buffalo, you know what I mean? Tampa Bay, There was a time. And look at teams like the Jets now, actually looking decent. But look at all that draft capital they had and all of the talent that they have acquired. But then you have teams like the Browns that have acquired all of their talent, and somehow they're 2-5 too. But I'm just saying, Cincinnati, how long had it been since Cincinnati was, respectable? And now look at them, draft position. Just saying. But represents the team, man. Represent the team, win or lose. We're so used to being a winner or being talked about as a potential team that it's hard to see this. I get it. But let me show y'all one thing, man. Then we'll get to the phone calls. I want y'all to see this screenshot. Remember the play I said. Remember that play, second half, when he dumped it down to Najee. Najee spins on 2 guys, gets the first down. But in the all 22, and for you all who are members of the channel, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to try to get that footage out tomorrow. Man, if Kenny would just hang in there another second, he got Deontay and Pickens. It's a touchdown. And that's the thing that Kenny has to develop, right? And I don't know if it's Kenny or if it's designed. They're saying get the ball out quick. But let me show you the screenshot. Y'all see this? I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. But look all the way at the top of the screenshot. And actually, let me make it bigger for some of you guys in a second. Look at the very top. That first person that you see there, that is George Pickens. He's right about the 30. That's an over route that he ran. Up there, diagonal from him, is Deontay Johnson. Who's in between them is that corner. Because Deontay Johnson ran a corner route. Cornerback bit inside. Deontay broke it back outside. And look where he's at. If Kenny Pickett throws it to him, it's a touchdown. If he throws it to Pickens, it's probably a touchdown. If he puts that ball out in front, and I promise you, you guys can't see it here, but this pocket, look at that pocket. It was so clean. Kenny had all day. Again, members of the channel, I encourage y'all, make sure you watch the all 22 footage of this one when I show it. This was 6 points, dog. The only thing that would have kept that from being 6 points would have been if, and I say if, one of them drops the ball. Now, can you guys confirm that y'all are seeing that screenshot? Let me know that y'all can see that. Y'all should be able to see it. I'm going to make sure. Somebody confirm that. Yes. Okay, yes. So just envision what I'm saying. Trust me when I say this. This pocket was super clean. But Kenny backs up and quickly looks to Najee and dumps it. Now, again, we got the first down, but this is the stuff that, and dog, the route combination was perfect. So I give Matt Canada credit here. This is what I'm saying. There's spurts where I couldn't even beef about the combination or the routes. This is a moment where Kenny has to say, yo, if this pocket is clean, I'm going for the gusto. That's a touchdown, dog. Touchdown. Guaranteed. Take your pick. If it's either one of them dudes you throw it to, that's 6. Yeah, man. It's moments like that. But again, we got to give him his time to develop, man. You know, he's probably is a little antsy. Because we've seen moments where he goes through the pocket and scans the field. But those ones right there, if you're going to predetermine where you're going with the ball, it's got to be that. You got to come up there, read the defense, and say, all right, I know what route combinations we got on. I'm looking here first. As long as I'm clean, I'm looking. I'm holding that ball a little longer. Oh, he's coming open. Anticipate it. Because, dog, if he just anticipates and throws to the spot. So, he'll get it, though. He'll get it. He'll get it. And like I said, in that particular moment, I couldn't even put it on Canada. There was other moments in the game where Canada called relatively decent calls, man. And like I said, Canada has had spots in the season. His problem is he falls to sleep. He doesn't adjust fast enough, and he stays stuck on his script way too long, in my opinion. Round of applause to Luis. He says, maybe I'm being biased, but TJ coming back in the second half of the season, Steelers might be able to win games that are close. Maybe, because, one thing we didn't get against Tua was pressure, but Tua was getting that ball out so fast, man. Oh, my God. I mean, it's almost hard to say, he got it out so fast. But, all right, man, I talked way too long. As y'all can see, we don't have a ton of time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 calls in queue. So y'all already know what y'all got to do. Y'all got to be quick, in and out. But let's get to it. First one, area code 470. What you got for us?
What do you think they're going to have to do with the punt return fees other than Sims' last game with the nice punt return? We've been doing nothing.
That is correct. Definitely thank you for your call, and I will answer that question. I appreciate it. I love when you call 470 because, not trying to act like I know for sure, but sounds like you are a younger viewer. Definitely appreciate that. My answer to you would be get Sims back healthy. Sims gave us a shot in the arm, and I think that was something to build off. Unfortunately, he got a little banged up, but if he's healthy, then that's what you do. You're going to give him another crack at it because not only did he have a great kick return, he had a nice punt return in that game. And, if not, they're going to stick with Olszewski. Gunner is on the team. They're going to stick with him as the backup until Sims gets healthy. So I think that's what happens. And as far as kickoff, we tried Pierre, and we saw what happened when Pierre tried to return a kick. So there you have it. Next on the agenda. Next up, area 443. What you got for us?
What's good, Sam? Hey, man, last week when I called, man, I kind of misspoke when I said that Ben Roethlisberger wasn't the problem last year. It was just Matt Canada. Ben Roethlisberger is the problem. Anybody that knew the Steelers and watched the Steelers knew that Ben Roethlisberger was the problem. But enough of Ben. I just mentioned that because I'm tired of people hearing talk about Ben like Ben is still here. Yeah, Canada is a problem, but it is what it is at this moment. Pickens will be fine, man. He's a rookie. I don't give people passes. I don't believe in that. But I just know he'll be fine because he's a rookie and he'll grow and learn from the things that he's doing. And my man Mark Malone in the chat said that people in here probably jumped on the bandwagon around 2005. Well, if your real name is not Mark Malone, brother, then you was probably one of them guys that jumped on the bandwagon in 2005. Because if you know Mark Malone like I know Mark Malone, you wouldn't be rocking that name. Have a good night, man.
Ooh, shots fired. Appreciate the call. Hey, I don't even have to comment to that. I'll let the chat do that. But yes, I will speak on what you said about Ben Roethlisberger. Guys, listen. Let's stop, man. Listen, y'all know I love Ben just like the next man. We all have eyes. We all should know that Ben's career was slowly coming to an end. The one thing that you can take away, even if you want to say Canada looks the same with these guys, what have we seen this year out of both QBs that we was not going to see with Ben Roethlisberger? Scrambling for the first down. Mobility. Getting out of the trouble. We've seen Trubisky and Kenny do it. So stop, man. Ben just couldn't move no more. I mean, you got to move on sometimes. There was a time remember when we saw Troy and we was like, dang, man, Troy can't run no more. I was at the game when I knew it was over for Ike Taylor. I was at that Saints game. It was near Thanksgiving at Heinz. And I watched the ball. The ball looked like it was in slow motion. I was like, me and Floyd, my wife and his wife, all were there. Close too. Close seats. That's when I learned that you don't need to sit that close. If you're going to sit close, don't sit on the 20-yard line. I don't recommend it. But yeah, it happens to the best of them. It was Ben's time. Mr. Winningham, area code 803. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good evening. I am so excited, y'all, right now. Been a Steelers fan for a long time. 53 years old. Getting ready to head to my first game. Getting ready to head to Philadelphia, PA. I wish the game was in Heinz Field, but my bags is packed. I'm ready to go Sunday and check my team out. For a lot of you guys that he mentioned Mark Malone, a lot of you guys don't remember the 1980s coming off the 1970s. It was tough. Made the playoff maybe 3 times, made the AFC Championship once against a quarterback that we should have drafted. But I like this kid. He's got a lot of moxie. He's super exciting. So I hope we pull off the upset. I hope I bring the team some good luck. And everybody have a safe and enjoyable week ahead. Thank you.
Man, Mr. Winningham, man, love it when you call, man. We all appreciate you here. I'm glad you're getting a chance to see the boys in action, man. If you ever get the opportunity, hopefully you can go to a home game, because just feeling that energy, seeing all of them Steelers fans. What I do is I usually, when I drive up, I park at, what station is it? I'm trying to remember. First Avenue, I think. And I ride the train in. I mean, the whole train is filled with Steelers. It's just, you just got to see it for yourself. But hopefully you will still enjoy yourself in Philly. Honestly, what I'm going to say to the chat too, man, one of these times, all of us need to try to get together and go to a game. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't too far from Philly. I'm about an hour and change from there. So, it would have been cool maybe to try to catch you out there or something. I will say this, though. Be safe. Philly fans is crazy. Yeah, they're crazy. So be safe, sir. Please. Please. We had a donation that I missed. Round of applause to Lydell Dorsey. He says, thoughts on Calvin Austin not playing this season? Well, I'm not going to assume anything, so I don't know if you know or not, but, Austin has been injured since preseason. He hasn't even played preseason. So I'll answer the question both ways. If you're literally asking my thoughts on him not playing, I'll say, well, he's injured. But if you're asking what are my thoughts on him just not being able to play, yeah, it's a tough break. Maybe we'll get a chance to see him, but I think at this point, it's so far into the season, what's his role going to be? Who comes off the field? You know what I'm saying? So, he's going to have a, big red target on his back. As soon as he comes in the game, people will say, oh, here comes the fast kid. But I would like to see him get a little burn. But, it's definitely unfortunate that he hasn't had an opportunity, man. So, yeah, hate that. Let's get to the next one. And y'all are doing good with the timing, and I'm trying to keep up with you guys with timing as well. Area code 214, what you got for us?
Hey, Sam, this is Brent Fox from Dallas, Texas, calling back again, man.
Yes, sir.
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm all right, brother. I'll be brief. Just wanted to hit a few bullet points, and then I'll be out your way. First one is, I'm not a fan of Matt Canada either, guys, but we have to look at this from like a logical standpoint. Learning offensive systems is not something that happens overnight. It's a totally different language, different concepts, schemes, things of that nature. You can't fire somebody, bring somebody in the next day, and then everybody learns it within a week and go out there on the field and execute it perfectly. If anything, it's going to be worse before it actually gets better. The other thing is, guys, we just need to be realistic on where this team actually is, okay? We have a rookie quarterback that needs to be able to learn. He's not magically going to save the season or turn this whole thing around, okay? Unfortunately, he's already shown you that. But all I ask is that you try to be patient as you can and give this man an opportunity to learn what he's doing. And I know for a fact that he's going to get a lot better. That's all I got, Sim, and I thank you and Steelers family for their time. Thank you.
Man, thank you, Brent. I'm going to give you a round of applause for that comment. Round of applause to Brent Fox, man. Listen, you know, some comments deserve a round of applause, and the reason why his does, and I'll be brief, I agree with everything he said there. I said it. Didn't I say it Sunday? Was it Sunday I said it? Okay, so you fire Canada, then what did I say? Who takes over? Who takes over? And a lot of people say, oh, well, Mike Sullivan, you know, he's it. Okay, but like he just said, are we expected to see complete changes? Now, I'll say this. Maybe if it's an inside guy like Mike Sullivan, he could take the playbook and call better plays. Okay, I'll give you that. But what Brent is saying in theory with the whole fire this, get rid of this, get rid of that, it ain't like somebody going to swoop in now, week 8, and completely, you just can't. You know, you new scheme and all, you just... So like I said, the best you can hope for is he'll get his contract not extended when the season is over. And what you said about Kenny, I've already said that as well. Give the kid time, man. Give him time. All right, we're doing good. How much time we got left? About 8 minutes. Let's keep it moving, guys. We got 4 calls to get to. 3 looks like. We're going to start with 334, area code 334. What you got for us?
Yeah. Can you hear me well? You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. No, not now. No, right now it actually sounds like you're in a well. Deep down in the well.
Go back to this. All
there
right,
we go.
man,
There we go.
Make this quick, man.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Know, if I don't hear you well, you can hear me. I want this team to tank real bad this year. And I'm not looking for them to win anything. I know a lot of fans think I'm loony tick, crazy out of my mind, but man, we got some good college players coming up out of the draft for next year. I want Bryce Young to come to this team. I want there to be a competition between Bryce Young and Pickett. And I want this team to tank, because that's what I'm wishing for. That's my present for this year, for Christmas, is the Pittsburgh Steelers will go 2-15. And old Tomlin get his first losing season. But the future will be bright next year. You got to focus, man. You got to focus on the next year plan, how this thing going to look. The secondary going to be tight. Everything going to be tight. Oh, we should get, I want to win. I want to win so bad. Hey, you can't win them all. You're not going to make it to the playoffs. You already know that. Now, see, I want you to explain something to me. Why would every time on a bad call that was on the field Sunday night, why did Tomlin always look up to the press box? That's all I got to say. Explain that to me. I'm out.
Man, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Let me answer that last question first. There we go speculating. I don't know why y'all fall into that speculate. We don't know what he was looking at. You don't know what he was looking at, who he was looking at, what he was looking at. So I'm not even going to entertain that part. Only other thing else I would say, I got to make a joke out of something. Santa Claus is not real. And I say that to say this. If your hopes and your Christmas wish list is for the Steelers to tank, you might as well just accept right now that you ain't getting that for Christmas. The best you can hope for is they just don't win no more games. Ain't nobody's tanking. They ain't built that way. I don't believe Tomlin is built that way. I don't believe the players or the team is built that way. Guys like Cam, guys like Minka, guys like TJ, and many others. So, yeah. But I'm with you. I'd rather us, listen, unless a miracle happened, I would much rather us have a better draft position. I'm not going to wish for them to lose. I'm just not going to do that. But if they are to be a losing team, I'd rather them have a better draft position. So, there you have it. All right, next up, we got 3 in the queue, guys. Let's keep it quick. 651, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sam, man?
What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm going to try to keep it quick. I missed last week because I was on vacation, and the time zone was different, so I completely missed the show. But I did want to point out those corners, man. When I talked about Josh Jackson weeks ago, now you got Quincy Wilson, another second rounder, good feet, fast, and they're all aggressive. Duke Johnson, they want to get on you. They want to hit. We're going to see some more of that. I mean, because Levi Wallace looked shook last night. He was scared. He was scared for his life. When he lined up in front of either one of those receivers, you can see it in him. And that's one of our biggest problems. I do want to talk about Pickett. Well, I like what he did, especially at the end of the game. You can see he got it. It's just he tried to rush it. I got to make this one shot. I got to score right now. No, take your time, and that's going to come. But to see him get up and down the field at the end of that game with short time like that twice, and his offensive line, they hung him out to dry, which is terrible. But the other thing is, Canada, I'm starting to realize what it is with him. He has a great playbook. He's going to know when to call his own plays. It's like he's confused. Like every once in a while, he'll pull something out that side cargo short pocket, and he's like, where did that come from? Like, why don't we do that more? And then we never see it again. It's just like he has no clue when to run his own playbook. So that's all I got, man.
Man, I'm with you right there. Yeah, go ahead.
One last thing that got on my nerves is the defensive line not putting their hands up. You're not getting to it. Put your hands up. He's throwing flat throws right over your shoulders, and nobody put their hand up. If TJ was there, we might have had 2 picks on him just alone. But that's it, man.
Man, you know what? Since I got to keep it quick, first let me say thank you for the call. Great comments, but I will hang right on that last thing you said. Little stuff like that. Tua won't throw that ball up high. So that's where sometimes one player could make a difference. Because if I recall it correctly, I'm just looking at that first drive. Tua was throwing this way, left hand. Yeah, he was throwing to TJ side. So, little stuff like that, you just never know. TJ is good for a batted ball. Seems like once a game. So, yeah, but like you said, I'm definitely with you, man. I said it a little earlier in the show. It's Canada got tools, bro. He just, I don't know, man. It's like he don't understand his own playbook. So, I don't know. It's crazy, but thanks for the call. Guys, man, I'm only going to be able to get to 2 of these calls. We got a couple more in the queue. So I'm probably only going to get to 1 or 2 of these. Let's start with area 618. What you got for us?
Hi. I'm just going to say, everyone's like, oh, record is bad, but I think it's going to be good in a couple of years. We got some good picks. We got George Pickens, Claypool, Donald Johnson. But I love Kenny. He's a good kid. He has to learn his mistakes in the NFL. So that's all I wanted to say. And somehow if we beat the Eagles this week, we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be good still.
Hey man, thank you for the call. I really appreciate that. And you're right. Like I said the other night, I'm gonna say it again tonight. I like Kenny so far. And I like what 651 said. You can see the things that I'm seeing out of Kenny is he's confident. He's not rattled. He's a baller. He just got to learn. That last throw, you forced it, Kenny. And he knew it. That's why he talked about it in his presser. Dog, you got run out of bounds. You had a guy right in front of you chasing one of your eligible receivers. You're going to pick up at least 10. You could get out of bounds. You don't have to force it to Deontay. And I understand he said, oh, it's miscommunication. I thought he was going to come. Can't force that, man, when that safety or that corner, rather, was standing right there. So even if you're trying to throw it high to him in the back of the end zone, that's still, and we're out of time here. I'm going to take one more call. Even if you going to hit Deontay, that's going to be a heck of a high throw. So you just got to learn to live another down, man. You just have to learn to live another down. But he'll get it. All right, guys, final call of the night. I apologize for those that I can't get to, but I told you guys, man, I got to start taking a little more control of the show and keeping a time frame that I prefer to have. And, hey, man, we'll talk about it after this call. Area code 864, what you got for us?
Hey, Sam, I'm going to be very quick, bro. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't know if anybody else knows this. Since the Buffalo game, Steelers defense began to play ball now, man. And the hit that Micah, they was going up and down the field for the first 2-3 drives. When Micah hit that dude on that goal line, you notice them receivers start looking like, I got to be careful. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the Steelers defense now begin to come in the form, man. And when this defense come together, keep these games low, Pickett gonna start coming around. Pittsburgh gonna win some games this year, many more games. Trust me. That's all I have to say, bro. Peace.
Hey, man, great call. I really appreciate that, and I will definitely spend a little time and talk about that really quick. Let me take the headphones off. And like I said, man, for those that I'm not gonna be able to get to the call, like I said, man, I have a normal life. I got to try to keep the show within certain constraints. I do expect it's going to get to a point where there's going to be a bunch of calls in the queue. So 2 things has got to happen. We got to keep them quick. We have to keep them quick. That includes my responses as well. And also, if it gets to a point where, you're not getting your call answered, if you really want to get the call answered, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just saying, you want to drop a donation and say, hey, I'm the area code, da-da-da-da, that will jump you in the line. I'm just being 100% honest with y'all. I'm not saying I want to do that, but if it gets to a point you feel like you want to have your voice heard for sure, and that I'm not going to not take your call, that is a way that you'll be able to do it. All right, so we'll see how it plays out. Because, again, I speak things into existence. I expect this show to get bigger and bigger. And one day I'm going to look over there and there's 30 calls in the queue. But yeah, man, let me talk about what he said and a couple other things before I get out of here. Defense has been starting to play a little ball, man. They have. I know it doesn't feel like that, guys, because our record is 2-5 and we just lost a close game. But again, looking at how they played in Tampa, look at how they played last week. They're starting to come around, and we're actually doing it with not the full complement. However you feel about Witherspoon, we're not even doing it with Witherspoon. And with Witherspoon not being out there, it prevents other things that we can do. We're not keeping Cam Sutton in the slot and things of that nature. So it's other things that we put out there against Cincinnati that we haven't been able to do since. Since Cleveland. Because I think that's when Witherspoon went down. And coincidentally, that was his worst game so far. But and if TJ comes back, like I said, anything is possible. I'm never going to be down and out on this team until they're mathematically out of it. I just don't have any expectations. I said that coming into the season. You guys have can mark my words on that. Go back and listen to previous shows that I did in the beginning of the season. I've been saying that I don't have any expectations because I looked at this as a rebuild. But, I'm always going to root for them, and if they win, they win. I'm just not going to expect this season to be the one. I'm just watching how this team is coming together. I mean, we got Minka locked up. We got some pieces. They're going to add some pieces. TJ's locked up. Highsmith is going to – we got pieces. What are they going to do at the inside linebacker position and safety? Is Edmonds going to re-sign, or is he playing himself into another contract with someone else? So there's a couple little pieces defensively, but then offense, if they can get that offense to click, add some offensive linemen, the future to me does look bright for the team. I know it's hard to swallow right now because we're used to being a team that they're talking about that's in contention. Well, we had the luxury of that for 15 years. At this point, it is what it is. And I do not care. Some people are making a big deal of it. Oh, see, Tomlin's going to get his first. So what? So what? I mean, who cares? Who cares? Okay, so what? I'm all about finding out what this team is going to be going forward, with or without Tomlin. At some point, Tomlin's probably not going to coach. Who knows? So that's why I'm at with it. But a couple things I did want to address really quick. Some of you guys were talking about fire candidate and all of that, and I said, okay, well, who's going to just take over just like that from the outside and going to turn this offense around? And then I saw the comparison come up. Oh, well, look at what the Ravens did. They got rid of Cam Cameron, and I said, okay, well, who took it over? And you guys said it was Jim Caldwell. I said, oh, well, was he on staff? And you guys said yes. Well, that is my exact point. I just said not too long ago, if that were to happen, guess who's probably going to take over? Sullivan, which means it's still the same playbook. So the best scenario would be is maybe like what happened with Jim Caldwell. Maybe Sullivan utilizes the playbook better. Okay, we'll see if it comes to that. But some people are saying, you all said it in the chat, I don't like Sullivan either. Well, who do y'all expect to call the plays? That's a real question, and I'm going to sit here and look right at y'all. They fired Matt Canada and Mike Sullivan because you don't like him either. Who's going to call the plays? We bringing in an outside coordinator midpoint of the season. Like my man 651, I think it was, who said it, or it might have been Brent. One of them guys said, you're going to bring this brand new guy and completely change the terminology. Got to be logical sometimes. Again, nobody's campaigning for Canada or anybody like that. I just try to be a logical fan and think about what I think is going to happen. You hear it from Steelers Depot all the time. They always say, remember, folks, we're just telling you what we think the Steelers are going to do when they do their draft pick analysis and all of that. They're just telling you what they think the Steelers are going to do. It's not always personal. And that's all I'm saying. I know it takes a while to get to this point, but as a fan, you just can't be so personal. You got to look at things with a bigger scope. And when you start to do that, you'll understand things better. Sure, you still have gripes. Y'all heard me tonight talk about I still hate that we give up so much cushion defensively. I don't understand why we do that with our corners. And even if you're going to do it, mix it up. Mix it up. But we at least 80% of the time playing off. We lined up 9 yards off of the line of scrimmage, and we still in a trail technique. Like, what is going on? And dudes are just throwing quick slants, skinny posts. I hate that. But what can I do about it? So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is my man 334 said, tank and draft Bryce Young. First of all, again, if you know your organization, they're not tanking. The Steelers didn't tank. You know how you know they're not going to tank? The Steelers organization, from Rooney to Colbert at the time, which Omar Khan is in the building, so I can include him, down to Mike Tomlin. They didn't tank when our Hall of Fame quarterback went down for the season. You know what they did? They went and traded a first-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick in the same season where their quarterback went down for the season. If that wasn't a time to tank, when is a better time to tank? But instead of tanking, they pull one of the biggest triggers we've ever seen them pull. Know the team you root for. Know the mentality of that staff, the coach, and the players that you root for. And ask yourself, do you really think they're going to tank? Or even ask yourself this as a fan. Do you respect a team that tanks? I am a Steelers fan. Y'all know that. Football is I'm a Steelers fan over any other sport. After that, I root for the 76ers basketball-wise. Guess what they did? They tanked. The process. Trust the process. Let me ask y'all this. Have we won a title since? Has the 76ers won a title since they tanked? I don't respect it. I don't respect it. I didn't respect it then, and I don't respect it now because it has not paid off. I don't like quitters. I don't like loser mentality. So I'm never going to be for tanking. Ever. Never. Because what if you tank and it still don't work out? That's just me. That's just me. That's my personality. That is me, the person. I don't have a losers or a quitters mentality. Never. Ever. If my team was 0-16 in the 17th game, I'm playing my heart out. Like I'm ripping my heart out on the field. I'm not a loser. So I don't think like that. So let me get back to the other point. Bryce Young. Again, you're thinking that your organization, is it possible? Sure. But let me tell y'all why it's not going to happen. I'll tell y'all a little secret. Let me get close to the mic.
Kenny Pickett is not going to play bad enough to where the Steelers think they need to bring in another first-round quarterback.
Let me say it again.
Kenny Pickett is not going to play bad enough this entire season to where the Steelers will think they made a mistake and they need to draft another prospect in the first round.
I'm talking about the Steelers. I'm not talking about personal feelings. They're not doing that. They ain't doing that. This is the same team that some of y'all have wondered why they kept Mason Rudolph around so long. He was a third-round draft pick. I'm just saying, guys. And again, some of y'all feel like it's a mistake. Fine. I'm not changing your mind. That's your opinion. I just don't understand. Personally, I don't understand how you can come to that type of conclusion. How you come to that type of conclusion after the little bit of games this kid has played. That's crazy. That's just, I don't get that. Do y'all remember Peyton Manning's rookie season? I'm not calling Kenny Pickett Peyton Manning. I'm just saying. Do y'all remember that? I'll give you one better. Y'all remember Troy Polamalu's rookie season? Ike Taylor. Imagine if the Steelers would have felt like they made a mistake by drafting Troy Polamalu. Come on, man. Y'all got to cut it out. Cut it out. And like I said, you're going to see Kenny Pickett for at least 2 years. At least. So, okay. That's all I got to say. Let's spend a little bit of time in the comments. What y'all got? UT Local says, you remember Drew Brees with the Chargers? Somebody said he could be Brian Leaf. Yeah, and you know what he also could be? He could be Jamarcus Russell. Sure could. The point is, my point still stands either way. You don't know yet. Real facts. Yeah. Let's bring it a little more current. Josh Allen, anyone? Oh, this kid is not accurate. Oh, he can't hit the side of a barn. Look at him now. I'm just saying, stop, dog. I promise you as a fan, listen, because I'm a fan. I promise you, it feels so much better when you think realistically. I promise you it does. I promise you. Why Diggy says, in the Matt Canada era, the Steelers have scored more than 28 times. In those 20, 2 were in overtime. 2, they were down 20 plus, and 1 was a garbage touchdown. It's safe to say that Matt Canada's offense can't score. Now the evidence is right there saying that something is severely wrong. And like I told you, man, to me, from what I'm seeing from watching all 22, and I'm telling y'all, man, for any of you guys that invest in that, it's worth it. If you know what you're looking at. Dog, it's like this dude falls to sleep sometimes, man. There's moments where I'm like, oh, that was an excellent call. Not just because it worked. Again, I can call an excellent play call even when it don't work, because there's a defense that you're trying to counter. But I've seen times where Matt Canada used schemes up against what the defense is calling, and then there's other times he just completely falls asleep. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Okay, Brian. Well, listen, that's your opinion, sir. I'm here to tell you. Listen, I'm no professional. I'm just here to tell you. You're trying to say what Kenny Pickett is or isn't in the NFL after these amount of games, and then you're asking how many games does he need? Like I said, we just gave you examples. One example I gave you is a Hall of Famer in Peyton Manning. Nobody knows what. All I'm trying to say, sir, is nobody can call it today. If you think you can call it today, I applaud you. And if it turns out that he is bad, oh, okay, so you lucked up and you called it. And yeah, I'm saying lucked up. I don't think anybody can call that after the amount of games that we have seen Kenny Pickett play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't think you can. Because, oh yes, he's made some bad plays. He has forced some bad balls. Yes, he has. Absolutely. But we also have many examples that we can point to and say, that was nice. That 4th down throw to Fryer move, that is an NFL throw. You people going to say, man, you that excited? Yeah, I am. That was an NFL throw. Dot. In pressure moment. Tight window. That is what he delivered. He has the heart. The dude has something. The question is, will it develop? That's the only question I have about Kenny. Will it develop? I see he has something. Will it develop? Some of you guys see it another way. That's fine. I don't see it like that. I don't. I see that this kid has talent. And again, moxie means something to me. Confidence means something to me. Looking the part means something to me. Competitive nature means a lot to me. I see all of that in Kenny Pickett. I'm not saying this dude is going to be a future Hall of Famer. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, the boy has something. I don't know if it's going to develop. That's what we're waiting to see. That's what we're waiting to see. Yeah, it was, JR. That was, dog. Listen, that was a throw. And again, some people going to say, oh, you talking about one throw. But that was one of those ones. All right. Okay, Brian, cool. Okay. Like I said, don't get me arguing your point. You don't like Kenny. Fine. That's it. We don't have to discuss it anymore. I'm not going to convince you. You ain't going to convince me. I'm just telling you, I don't see what you see. Let's move on. Marcus Jones says Kenny isn't a bad QB. I don't think so either. Kenyon says Bryce is going to whoever has the number 1 pick or top 3 pick that needs a quarterback. Colts, Lions, Falcons, more than likely. Walter Worthy says everybody gets a trophy. Society by Seth Shore has created some weak fans. Who wants to see their team lose? Man, I'm just saying, dog. JDA 940 says Kenny is looking better right now than Trevor Lawrence looked last year. You might have a point there. You might. That might be a good point right there. Brian said he needs to make more dots. How he gonna make more dots, Brian? You ready to yank him? You calling it already? But I'm just having fun with it, man, dog. I have your opinion, and like I said, I have mine. I'm not gonna debate you. I am not. Nothing that I could do, nor do I care to change your mind. So I'm just saying we're not watching it the same, or let's say we're not seeing it the same, and that's virtually agree to disagree. I don't need to know any more about how you feel. You don't like him, fine. Evan Gully says some of the Kenny haters are probably Mason Rudolph. And who knows? We don't have a way of knowing that. C. Antoine Hill donation. He made a donation where? Did I miss it? Or y'all talking about something else? My man Brent says, "Oh, Sim, I forgot to ask you. Do you see logical adjustments we can make in our run blocking to improve our run game?" Man, only thing I can see right now, and I'm glad that you said that, Brent, because you're giving me something to really focus on now. Maybe keep Derek Watt on the field a little more. We've had a little success when he's out there. We've had a little more success when we run like the off-tackle type of stuff. We haven't had a whole lot of success right up the yin-yang. Also, one of the biggest adjustments I would continue to make is run from spread. Spread them out. We've run the ball way too many times from compressed sets or jumbo sets, and defenses are all over it. So those would be my 2 adjustments, but thank you for the homework. I am going to remember. I'm going to study that and see if there's anything else that might catch my eye, or if what I'm saying holds true. That toss just ain't working, bro. We're just not getting. We're not getting guys out there to make the block, whether it's the receivers or and I'm not gonna say all the receivers, but the guys who are pulling, it's just not happening. Now maybe that's another thing. Maybe we could try. I don't know if we have the personnel, but remember when we used to run power a lot? We were very successful running the ball when we ran power. We don't seem to be doing a whole lot of that. So those are the only things that maybe I could see. Real Fact says, oldest player on the team, I believe, is Cam Hayward at 33. This is a young team. We have a great young nucleus to build on. Be patient. I love the talent we have. That's why I'm at with it, man. You know what? Some people are looking at this whole losing season thing as a overarching negative. Again, they're trying to make it about Tomlin. I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to have that, if we're going to finally go through that, which, do y'all remember when the Ravens was 5 and, what were they? 5 and what? Not 12. Oh, yeah, was it 5 and 12? It was something like that? Yeah. No, that would be, they must have been 5 and 11. Because at that time we played 16 games, right? Yeah, do y'all remember that? This was a few years back. All the teams go through it. We as fans just have been fortunate to not see that. We haven't seen that in 15 years. The worst we've seen is 8-8. 8-1. That's the worst we've seen. The worst draft position we've had has been like 24. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the time. It's just our time more than likely. And who knows? Again, we might end up again this year at 8-8 or 8-1 or 9-8. You never know. So I'm just saying, man, I'm just saying. Q says, stop doing the pitches for the starters of Najee. He already dancing too much. Yeah, man. That play, man, that toss out, pitch out, whatever you want to call it, to the weak side of the field. What was he doing, man? See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes Canada just keeps, he just keeps bumping his head, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let me read a couple more, man, and then I'm out of here because it's already 9:30. Debbie says, again, Ben has spoiled fans from his rookie year. That was an anomaly for a rookie QB season, and Ben had definitely had defensive help to give him a decent field position. His numbers were marginal. That's what I'm saying, man. People just forget those type of things, Deb. Sippy Boy says, man, I sit back and read some of these comments, and I can say is I hope no one lets you near a team. That's including Pee Wee Ball. And man, I'm telling you, us as fans think it's so easy, man. Yeah, that's right, Leonard Green. Yeah, they was 5-11, the Ravens, dog. I'm just saying, man. Look, and maybe that's the reason why it doesn't sting as much, is because I try to be a realist. You know, I understand the fact that we are starting over. You know, whether you hated or loved Ben Roethlisberger in his last few years, you know, just having that cog, you know, and that offensive line that was a unit, you know, going back 2-3 years ago, a lot of change has happened. And the Steelers are starting to go through it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I already was wondering, okay, who's our quarterback going to be? They brought in Mitch Trubisky, and I said, okay, clearly this guy is a bridge gap. And I said, all right, Steelers are going to go try to get one of these 3 quarterback names that were in the draft. I figured guys like Malik Willis was going to go early. They did not. I did not think Kenny Pickett was going to be there. He's there, and I'm like, okay, are they going to go Willis or Pickett? I wanted Willis at the time because of what I'm thinking his ceiling is. And who knows? His ceiling still might be that. But I was like, ooh, he can run. He got a cannon. Accuracy issues from time to time. But I kind of wanted to see the Steelers, you know, take a shot at a QB like that. They decided to go Kenny Pickett. And y'all saw how I reacted live on show, on air. And I was like, oh, my God. But what did I do the very next day? The very same night, I composed myself. I said, all right, let me assess this. Okay, I understand why they went with him because of yada, 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 yada. And from that point on, I said, okay, Mitch is going to start. When is Kenny going to play? I had no idea that Kenny was going to play as soon as halftime of a game.
10
and here
seconds.
we are, trying to get right. And that's just it. And the way it's looking right now, the Steelers might have a struggle season. Okay. And that's just me trying to be a realist, you know, but, you know, if y'all going to get so banged up and beat up over this one season, I mean, you know, first people say, oh, not having a losing season for 15 years don't mean nothing, but as soon as the losing season comes, now y'all about to die. You see what I'm saying? Fickle. All right, one more comment and then I'm out. Somebody says, "Cuz super chat." Where? I don't see it. Did I miss it? I don't see it. Claude is saying super chat. I don't see a super chat. Are you telling me, or are you telling somebody else they need to do one, or did I miss one? And if I missed one, who was it? It's no longer in my chat feed, so it's probably gone. Let me look on my phone to see if I can find it. He keeps saying super chat. Oh, I can make a record out of that. I think they are popping up. No, I don't see him at all. You say they popping up. I don't see him. Hold on, did I cut off the alerts? Hold on. No, the alert's on. Yeah, I don't see it. So my bad. If you guys are doing the super chats, and thank you. Appreciate the donation, but I surely don't see it. We had a few in this show that I saw. So, yeah, I don't see it, Antoine. I think I saw one of yours. Oh, wait, you talk about the one, I think I saw it when I was talking and I didn't come back to it. You said, was it the one where you said something about, obviously you're in Philly and you said you would be down with us going to a game, whether it was Steelers or Sixers? I did see that. Is that the one? And my bad if I'm just now remembering that. But yeah, we could definitely make something like that happen, man. It would be cool to link up with some of you guys, man. As long as y'all are cool. Can I be honest and be real with y'all? Y'all all know that sometimes you've met people that just was a little strange. It's not necessarily, and I might be that to you. I'm just saying, hopefully that you guys are cool when we meet up. If you on some crazy stuff, some weirdo stuff, man, your boy ain't gonna be able to rock with you after that one time. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying that about Antoine. I'm just saying in general. And maybe y'all might feel that way about me. I'm not excluded in that. But as long as we are cool, I'm all for people, man, of you guys that are in the area or you guys come in town. And yeah, let's link. Why not? That's dope. I'll be down for that. I'll be down for a group of us from here go to a game together. That would be beyond dope. One of these times, man, I'm hoping we could get Kenyon over here, all the way over on the East Coast, and we could catch a game together. I would love for Kenyon to come this way so he can go to the Steeler field. But, I mean, if it means that I got to shoot out to L.A., maybe when they play, next time they play in L.A., or maybe we meet up in Vegas or something when they play the Raiders, I'm down for that too. You know what I mean? But, all right, man, one more serious one before I go. Rajan said he cooler than a polar bear toenail. And this is me. I mean, I like to assume, I can't assume for y'all, but I like to assume that you can kind of see my personality just by what I do here on the show. This is me. And you'll see more of that off screen, but easy going cat, man. I'm a real dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds crazy talking about yourself, but I'm not with all of the nonsense. I'm a real dude, man. Nah, can you? Brent says, "Say Sam, I truly believe that this is an authentic experience, so no weird vibes from me." Yeah, man. No question. No question. That's me, man. That's me. All right, here's one. And then we'll get out of here. UT local band says, Sam, if the Steelers part ways with Canada this offseason, who would you like to see brought in as a new OC? Man, I answered this on Sunday, and I'm going to be honest, I got a very lame answer. I don't know. I don't know who's available. And, I don't really follow the coaches and coordinators like that to really know. I mean, it's guys that we know, obviously. You obviously know guys like Andy Reid. That ain't happening. Sean McVays, and I love Kyle Shanahan. All of these dudes are head coaches. Eric Bieniemy, under that, him being under the tree of Andy Reid. I would love something like that. I would love somebody who was under the tree of Josh McDaniels. You know what I mean? Like, I thought New England used to pull out some plays on you from time to time. I thought they were very creative and very methodical the way they ran their offense when he was out there. But like I said, he's a head coach now, right? If I'm not mistaken. But guys like that, Pep Hamilton, I'm a fan of his. I always have been a fan. It's funny, man. Y'all know I do some of the stuff with EA. I won't say his name out of privacy, but, one of the devs there that designed the playbooks and all of that, him and Pep Hamilton are good friends. So, guys that I've kind of seen their work, but again, I'm that's not my thing. Maybe some of you guys are better with that. Look at that. Q just said Pep Hamilton as well. But yeah, I don't really know the coaches like that to really say this is who it should be, who it shouldn't be. I just, I would say again, anyone who kind of comes from under the Kyle Shanahan tree, not necessarily Papa Shanahan, but Kyle Shanahan tree, the Josh McDaniel tree, maybe somebody who works alongside Sean McVay or Eric Bieniemy, like that type of mold, just those creative dudes, man, the creative, I want to see more of that. And with a little mix of methodical stuff, because sometimes you just turn around and hand the ball off, right? It don't always got to be mystical. But I just want to see more of those. Yeah, that play is going to work. You know, Kansas City has plays that they know is going to work. Like, in all honesty, they have play, and again, that's, you know, it's Patrick Mahomes. Again, another anomaly. But I want that. You know, New England used to have plays that they knew was going to work. Even the Saints back in the day, they knew it was going to, like, I want more of those. And again, it might not work every time, but I at least want to say, that was a great play. I'll give you one. And this came from Fichtner, I think. Or, yeah, this was probably Fichtner. I want to see more of those plays, man. Utilize, like, remember the play when your boy dropped it? I think it was, what was the dude that was a tight end for us a couple years ago? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Ebron. I think it was Ebron. Was it Ebron that dropped it, or was it that other dude? But y'all know the game in Denver. And Ben does the play action, and he rolls this way and throws it back to the right. I can't remember which tight end. I don't think it was Ebron. It was the other dude, man. What's his name, man? The backup dude. Oh, man, I can't remember his name now. Grimble? Xavier? Was that who it is? Something like that. But remember how he dropped it? 3rd and 1. Like, that was a beautiful play. Like, I need to see more of those. It was Xavier Grimble. There you go. Thank you, Dickie. I need to see more of those. And like the little bootleg that Trubisky did. Give me some of those. Give me some of those, Canada. You got them in your pocket. They in your bag. Just dig deep for them. Stop grabbing the first thing that you know, it's almost like the dude just walking along and he's just reaching in the bag. He don't know what come up. Oh, let's try that. No. Get in your bag and find the play. Just, that's all. Give us more of that. Give us more of those plays that's like an 80%, you know, in a certain situation. And if we could get more of that. So that's what I want. I want that type of coordinator. But all right, man, let me get out of here. I've been here way too long tonight. Love you guys like always. Here it is. Boom. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, click on your notifications, and boom. That's all I need you to do. 3 simple things. The only thing else I need you guys to do is make sure you guys stay safe out there. God bless. Good night. And like always, thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. And for you all who are members of the channel, be on the lookout for that all 22 footage. We're going to have fun with this one. All right, man. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.